Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast, where we celebrate individuals and families, businesses, and organizations that seek out and promote the exploration, stewardship, conservation, access, and enjoyment of the outdoors. Today's episode is part of a podcast series produced in collaboration with Visit Johnson City and regional partners hosting the OWAA's inaugural Field Fest event. Today's guest is Matt Bolas. Matt is the Executive Director of Explore Bristol, the tourism office for Bristol, Tennessee, and Bristol, Virginia. Matt, it's a pleasure to have you on the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast, and you participating in this Field Fest event and project, so welcome.
Well, thank you. We're very excited. We appreciate it. We appreciate our friends at Visit Johnson City, which is next door. It's about 15 miles away and part of the Tri-Cities. And we're excited. We have a lot of outdoor adventures for people to partake in. And we're glad to be part of your conference and your event coming up in the Field Fest. So first time inaugural. So we're excited to be a part.
Fantastic. I am truly looking forward to it. I usually will share with the guests that I am going to finally check off on my bucket list. I've never really been fishing before, and especially fly fishing. So I know I'm going to have some opportunities in as part of the Bristol portion of the event, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So thank you well in advance here. So it's besides having the fun of being there and doing these podcasts, I'm excited to finally get a real rod and a real reel in my hand. So thank you for that. So I've got to ask this question. In the introduction, I said, tourism office for Bristol, Tennessee and Bristol, Virginia. Tell us a little bit about that.
Bristol is very unique. We are made up of actually two cities. So when you come to Bristol, it's actually a huge draw for people just to stop by. Our downtown is one half Bristol, Tennessee, and the other half is Bristol, Virginia. So many, many years ago, we don't have a main street. Our main street is called State Street. Okay. And in the middle, there are brass markers that say one side Tennessee, one side Virginia. And it makes us very unique. And then 1910, there's a historic Bristol sign. And the sign is Bristol, a good place to live. They put that up there. It was near the train station because passenger rail and cargo and trains were very, very, very important in early 1900s. So it was kind of the welcome to individuals. But to this day, it's still half Tennessee, half Virginia. And instead of fighting that, we celebrate it. We actually love it. It's really cool. But we do have two mayors. We have two city council. When you look at the community, you have the main high school is Tennessee High School on the Tennessee side, and it's Virginia High on the other. And there's always big rivalries. Once a year, it's kind of a big deal to have the big football game or the big basketball game. But it's all in fun because we're a community that lives off each other. But we get people that come to our downtown. They stand in the middle of the road. Our locals know, okay, there's a visitor. They want their photo with the sign in the background. We'll be careful. And but it is different. There are different rules. So on one side of the street, the bars will close an hour later, instead of 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. So there are little things like that, but it's unique in that, police can cross lines if they need to and all that kind of stuff. But back in the 1800s and early 1900s, that was kind of an issue on the state line. Was someone could commit a crime in Bristol, Tennessee, go across the street, and they couldn't be pursued. But those laws have way been cleared up 100 years ago. So it's a fun and unique story, and we celebrate it because there's not many communities like us. So that's one thing we're really kind of known for, is just that nostalgia, two cities in one state, one city in two states. So
all right. Now, I two things were coming to my mind as you were describing this. One, that has to be one heck of a traffic hazard when somebody is standing in the middle of the street, straddling both states, and taking a picture.
We have festivals and different things where the streets are closed, like Bristol Rhythm and Roots is a big festival in the fall. and that's when you start seeing a lot of the photos going online because people are in the streets because the roads are closed, or for downtown events, they'll close some of the street closures. But yeah, you'll see people looking both ways, and you know what they're doing. They're waiting
Right.
for that clearance to run out real quick and snap that selfie and stand in 2 states at once. So we're used to it.
Okay.
We're
All right.
used to it. It's a
You
pretty
know,
wide street too. So
I could imagine it'd be a lot of fun. I think it would be fun too. You set up a banquet table down the length of the street, and you
um,
have a dinner on one side and the other. I think that'd be
they
pretty
have,
cool. You can
there's
run
people
with that
talk.
idea if you want. Okay.
Yeah, we do have a Main Street program that covers both sides, and they've chit-chatted about something like that. So,
Uh,
you
all right.
know,
All right.
well,
You know, the only other state, and I've never been there. There's two states. There's the corner of Winslow, Arizona, but that's
mhm,
just a corner in a in a city in a state. Well, there's four corners up in
mhm,
Colorado, Utah, I think it's Arizona, New Mexico, which is nothing. I mean, depending on who you talk to, the
mhm.
brass, plat or plate in the road is could be miles apart, but supposedly that's where the states converge at the four corners. But I'm definitely looking forward to straddling two states.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We'll give you that tour. It's different because it's literally half and half. So it's not like a little corner of Bristol is on this side of the state. It's the heartbeat. It's the middle of town on both sides. So we just mushed it all together, and 1856 they decided that we were
Okay.
gonna they had a vote, and they were naming it Bristol, and to pay homage to Bristol, England, actually. So
Okay.
it's kind of the the olden days, I guess you'd say.
There you
So,
go. It's funny. I was doing some research for the episode, and I just did a search on Explore Bristol, and sure enough, Bristol, England came up. I don't
well,
think that's the right one. But
yeah, yeah.
so I am curious I want to talk more about your participation in Field Fest. But before we
Mhm.
do that, what is Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia? What's it known for in the outdoor space, the adventure space?
When
Tour.
you look uh, when you look at outdoor enthusiasts, one of the things that's put us on the map, there's a few things that put us on the map. We're a very unique, town to have major attractions. Bristol Motor Speedway gives us a lot of
Mhm.
attention. You know, the history that they have, broadcast television, the stars of NASCAR from Darrell Waltrip to Dale Earnhardt to whoever has gone through and come through Bristol, which is we have those outdoor enthusiasts. A lot of those are NASCAR fans. Also home to Birthplace of Country Music Museum, where the first commercially recorded record was recorded with the Carter family and the Stonemans, and that is what a lot of people in
Wow.
Nashville refer to as the Big Bang of country music. It
Mhm.
started in Bristol, and then it was born in Bristol, then it was raised in Nashville in kind of a little bit of way. So we have a lot of country music fans that come through, but even if there's NASCAR or country music fans that are through the area, it's the outdoor assets that we have. We're very fortunate to be part of the Appalachian Mountains, and we have lakes, rivers, the South Holston Dam, the South Holston Lake, and the South Holston River. That area is huge, created by the TVA, the Tennessee Valley Authority. It's a huge, large earthen dam. And when you were mentioning fly fishing earlier, that was one of the experiences we wanted to show OWAA was the way that that has been created in the dam. Um, it's so oxygenated that there's a lot of vegetation, insects where fish can thrive, and there's a dozens and dozens of official outfitters now. So it's a vacation experience. There's cabins all through along the river. So you have the opportunity to have different experiences in Bristol. And I do think that having the multitude of attractions, you can go fly fishing in the morning, and then you have things to do in the afternoon and evening. So just like being 2 states, we have multiple kind of brands amongst
Mhm.
us. And
Mhm.
that's why we want you to explore Bristol, because there are more segments and that make us a little bit more interesting for folks.
Okay. And speaking of the dam and the fly fishing, what other events can attendees of Field Fest expect when we have this part of the excursion coming to your into your town?
Well, we're gonna sneak you downtown, so don't worry. You're gonna go downtown. We're gonna sneak you
Okay.
downtown and just kinda go by where the Bristol sign and that history, and we'll let you stand on the road. You know, we'll play in the road, and, the birthplace of country music is museums downtown. It's a Smithsonian affiliate, so it's a really great place, and then we're gonna go over to Still Creek Park and Nature Center, which has been around for, about 70, 80 years. It's a nature uh, park it's huge. I mean, there's hiking, biking, mountain biking. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do. There's a new nature center that they put in and elevated in the past year that have different displays about what we have in this area in terms of outdoors and the different types of animals, the different type of plants, and it's educational for youth and students. It's very family friendly, and the city does a great job in maintaining it. So the
Mhm.
hiking trails, it's a beauty spot we wanted to show off. So it has all levels of, if you just want the casual walk along paved paths, great. If you want to go hiking, that's fantastic, or go mountain biking. They have different grades throughout there. And then there's a great nature center that kind of tells the story of why that's there and how many salamanders we have, because we have one of the largest populations of certain salamanders.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it goes into all those. We have a turtle that I remember as a kid. That turtle, Snappy, has been there for over 40 years, so
Okay.
he's still hanging out. He might outlive us all. I'm not sure, but it's interactive and fun place. So we wanted to take where you because we do have so many outdoor experiences in the hiking and biking. You can go along the Mendota Trail or up at Sugar Hollow. There's all these places, and I know we have a finite amount of time, so we're trying to just give you all a little glimpse of what we have.
Okay. Now, are we going to be able to do a lap around Bristol?
Well, we're working on that. He's putting me on the spot. So we're trying to sneak
No
by Bristol
pressure.
Speedway as well and try to do that. Weather is usually the only thing that'll get you. You don't want to do that in the rain. Can't do that in the rain. So that's why they have delays and rain delays sometimes, but during a race. But it is a very steep racetrack, and so it's a short track, and that does tie into our history with bootlegging, and that's
Yes.
NASCAR come from bootlegging, and we're also fortunate because looking forward, we have now attractions that are opening in our area that like Tennessee Hills is putting their huge distillery in Bristol that started in Jonesboro, which is Storytelling Center. Jonesboro is part of this as well, and we're also close and regional. They're putting their big production and opening up this summer where they'll make 7,800 bottles a day. I mean,
Mm,
there's tie-ins. We even have a casino that will
wow.
be
Okay.
open this summer. So Hard Rock Hotel and Bristol Casino will be open this summer. There's a temporary open right now, but the permanent, the big, 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 and that's cool for us because they're going to tie in a little bit to our music history. So it is
Mhm.
hard rock, but they also, if you go there now, there's a dress in there from Dolly Parton, and we know how important she is to
Right.
Northeast Tennessee. So we have a lot of attractions that keep people. So if you're spending your day or your weekend and you're doing these outdoor activities, there's nightlife and other options for you. But Howard, I'm gonna do everything I can to get you on the track and get you that experience. So we're already working on that. So
Well, no pressure at all, man. No
yeah,
pressure at all. You
yeah,
did say the magic word whiskey, and I do have, and
yeah,
I'm going to ask you in a minute when we do our top
yeah,
10 list, but coffee is
yeah,
very important in my life. So whiskey and coffee, but we'll just leave it at that for now. But
yeah.
you mentioned something about the outdoor activities, and a question that I've been asking a lot of the other partners leading into Field Fest is how has Bristol and some of the outdoor activities or in town activities for that matter been adapting to the needs of folks with certain disabilities, whether it's sight or physical disabilities?
Yeah, that is something that we have taken great links to try to make ourselves more adaptive to all levels of ability. It is something that's very important. So when you are at any public events that there are, whether they're festivals, downtowns, very walkable, very, very whatever your accessibility of movement is. Also with the speedway, there, and I know
Mhm.
you think of the speedway, NASCAR. we're all very aware of that. We have guides that can work with people who are different abilities, and those guides, they're great. And we get a lot of visitors that are interested in that, like a ton. They're I would say book early because especially on the weekends and summer months, you're a little bit better during the week. But those cabins do fill up, and there's hundreds of them, but they
Mhm.
do fill up, and they'll pick you up. So whatever your abilities are, they'll pick you up. They'll provide you lunch if you choose the lunch option. You literally just at your hotel or cabin, it's the easiest vacation, and then they teach you. So if you've never done it, I think that's the other thing as well is I did just standard fishing growing up when you grabbed your fishing pole and went found water and hoped there was actually fish in it. That's how I
Right.
grew up. And now it's there's a skill, there's areas, and we do have different abilities for we do have different accesses for people with different abilities. A lot of our outdoor attractions are also city owned or
Mhm.
state owned. So therefore they follow rules and guidelines that make it more accessible.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I appreciate you
Yeah.
sharing that.
Yeah.
I am curious too, just given the amount of visitors coming into your area, what's been the economic impact? Before you answer that, there's a lot there's a lot of perhaps on a lack of awareness that as some of our energy needs have been changing over the years, and some of those energy needs are being replaced by whether it be solar or wind or some
Mhm.
other source, the ability to tap into the earth resources has changed, and it's being replaced by tourism. There's a recognition that tourism's bringing in a lot of money. And so I
Yeah.
am curious within the Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia, what's been the economic impact of tourism into your area?
Tourism is a major driver for employment. It's huge in terms of how it drives our economy. We are smaller cities. We're around 50,000 people when you add the two cities up, and
Mhm.
so we're not a huge metropolis or by any means. So um, focusing on tourism has been an important investment that has returned very, very well. This past year, Tennessee just announced the state of Tennessee in the past year, for the first time ever, tourism is now the number one generator for the
Oh,
state.
wow.
It's agriculture. And you would never thought we'd ever pass that. But one thing we did see, like when we had pandemic, we saw the impact of tourism, and then we saw really closely when there was no tourism, the impact greatly because we all know what it did to businesses and hotels and just trying to stay alive, restaurants. I mean, they rely so much on out of town visitors, whether it's 40 to 50% of their business. That's really, really important. It's been a boom for us. We are at record numbers in terms of when we look at that data, hotel and tax collections, we're the highest we've ever been. And this is before the pandemic. So we don't ever measure against those years, but we look at prior and we're at record numbers. We have three or four more hotels coming on board in Bristol. Our Airbnb and VRBO market is very active. I'm mentioning those cabins. There's a lot of cabins along the river. Those things really didn't work around 25, 30 years ago.
Mm.
So with the investment of marketing ourselves a little bit more, that these hidden gems, these waterfalls, these different things that are in our region, and I think that's made us strong too, regional. Visit Johnson City is hosting this event, but we're going all throughout the region. So in a
Mhm.
half hour, you're in Bristol or you're in Kingsport. 15 minutes, you're in Jonesboro. You can be in Greenville. There's so many places from water rafting to mountain hiking to zip lines, all right here. And now that people are discovering and exploring what we have, it has been huge for our economy. And our cities get it, our states get it, and we see it continue to grow. So what we do now is um, we try to grow in a way that is good for the quality of life of our residents. We're not trying to oversaturate ourselves, become a tourist trap or anything like that.
That last sentence or 2, that was what was going through my mind because I mean, I live in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't live in the Strip area, but you can't go anywhere without realizing it's there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but if you go outside of Vegas, there's a lot of beauty, the desert, the mountains,
Yeah.
some wonderful places. And I was kind of curious about the what's been the impact to the residents and the fact, especially the longtime residents. But you've kind of shared they're
Yeah.
adapting to it and they recognize the need and the
I think
importance of it.
we've renovated, like our downtown is booming. It's been booming for the last 10 years. We've had a lot of old buildings, and I'll be honest, 20 years ago, some of the buildings were just empty. They were dilapidated, not just here, in other cities around us too, John City.
Oh yeah.
Now those are being repurposed and they have their
Mhm.
former glory. The the old J.C. Penney's or the old Sears, those all moved to malls or shopping centers
Mhm.
and moved out of downtowns. And so we're taking those back and preserving that. And then you have that history and charm. So that's the kind of planned growth that we're trying to do in our community. So in our downtown, you don't see chain restaurants. We have great local coffee shops and breweries and all that good stuff. But we love chains. Those are more close to the interstate.
Mhm.
So if you need to
Okay.
get your Cracker Barrel or your Red Lobster or whatever you need, you could still get that. It's just in certain areas. So
All right. Very
yeah.
good. I am very much into the mom and pop kind of joints. And
Yeah.
actually it's a perfect segue, Matt, is and I'm imagining a visitors coming in, a family, maybe a couple, younger couple, older couple, and they're just open to exploring. So I'm curious, and as a feature of these episodes, with partners of Field Fest, is what are the top 10 things you want to recommend for those couples, the families who are visiting Bristol and the surrounding areas? And tell us why.
I would put you need to go to downtown Bristol. We explained why. You need to go
Right.
downtown Bristol. There's also a lot of attractions. We know that the Birthplace of Country Music Museum's down there. There's other things. Paramount Bristol. There's historic theaters. There's escape games for families that want to get locked in a room for an hour. There's a lot of restaurants and breweries, distillery activities, and we have a lot of live music because it
Mm.
does play off our country music. So there are a lot of venues, restaurants will have live music in the evenings. Um, I would go explore downtown Bristol, shopping, all the good stuff. You got to go by the Speedway, even if there's not an event going on. Go by the Speedway. You can take some photos out there. They're very friendly. They have a great gift shop that's full of all the merchandise you could ever want. Go by there. The Pinnacle is right on the interstate. The Pinnacle is our largest shopping district in the region,
Mm.
between Knoxville and Roanoke. It's whether it's anchored by Bass Pro, they have trampoline parks, they have all kinds of your chain, more of your chain restaurants and shopping. So that's one of those outdoor shopping centers, and it's huge, and they always grow. Um, Tennessee Hill Distillery, I talked a little bit about
Mhm.
that. I'm really excited about that this summer. They have great product. We've sampled, so you can go and do free samples and all that. They have multiple bars and they can show you how they make their products. They actually are also adding a cream distillery, which you can get alcohol infused ice creams and
Ooh,
cheesecakes and all that good stuff. So, I mean,
can I raise
that's,
my hand for that?
yeah,
I want to.
that's speaking to me right now. So I love culinary, but I would, those are some of ours. The Mendota Trail, is part, it's an extension of basically the Virginia Creeper Trail, which a lot of people may have heard of. Um, the trail system in this region is great. We're really connecting those old rail beds and connecting those rail to
Oh wow.
trail projects. So it's turning those back into use. Bristol Caverns, it's been around
Mm.
for hundreds of years. It's a great attraction. It's year round, about the same temperature, whether it's 20 degrees outside or 90 degrees outside. It's just caverns are so unique and fantastic. We have a great one at Bristol Caverns that's been around for many, many years. Trying to think what else is on our top 10. Oh, Hard Rock. Gotta go to Hard Rock. So if
Okay.
you want to gamble a little bit, go gamble. They are in construction and you'll see their hotel opening in the fall. So we're excited to see the hotel portion open in the fall. The permanent casino will open by July, and the restaurants, and we're excited to see the music and the entertainment that they bring in. So that's a whole game changer as well, located off the interstate. So again, they're in a, and they actually moved into our old Bristol Mall. Our mall struggled, and for many years there it was nothing there, and this was a very unique concept. It had to go through state legislature to even have casino in Bristol, Virginia, in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So it's another repurpose aspect of how do you fill them all? It's a big space, and it's now Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, and it doesn't look like a mall. I can tell you that. So those are a few of our top 10. There's just a lot. If you go online, you can check us out and hear Bristol's story. Whatever speaks to you, we encourage you to just explore out. The locals are very friendly, so it's hard to get lost. So
Okay.
we we have great signage. So
Okay. And if you're looking at a map, somebody probably going to tap you on your shoulder saying, "Can I help you, sir?"
yeah, yeah, that we get that a lot. So don't panic. Don't panic. They're helpful, especially in your downtown areas. There's the big community down there. So I see it all the time, and a lot of the stores will keep maps and stuff and give directions out and visitor guides and stuff like that, because they know how many people come through.
I love that. I love it. And I appreciate you sharing the top 10, but I
Yeah.
do need to put you on the spot now, and I'm sure
Wow.
you will get into trouble for this. But
Okay.
where's your go-to breakfast joint?
Oh man. Oh, you are gonna get me in trouble. My favorite right now, because it changed. My favorite right now is right in the middle of downtown, called Bloom. I'm a big fan. Bloom is in an old bank lobby. It's
Mm,
really cool. It does not look like a bank. It's a elevated coffee shop that has incredible food. So I'm a big fan of, I love eggs Benedict and stuff like that, and
mhm.
that we have that. And
Okay.
so, and I do like anyone that serves a flight of mimosas. I mean, you can't go wrong there. Coffee and a flight of mimosas. It's a sell.
I
So
love that. And is this going to be your go-to for coffee as well?
yeah, yeah, I like coffee.
Okay.
We have great coffee from Trailblazer to Whimsical. There's a lot in downtown Bristol,
Okay.
Bristol Bagel. There's a lot of coffee places. We need our coffee here in the mountains of Northeast
Yeah,
and Southwest Virginia. We love coffee. We from red eye gravy, where you use coffee to make our gravy. So it's important.
I love that.
Yeah.
I am, as I've shared with a lot of people by now, I'm looking for my next place to live. And, anywhere where there's good food and good coffee, I'm all in. So I need to put you on, keeps putting you on a spot
All
here.
right.
Where's your lunchtime venue? So you're gonna go out there and get
Oh.
a nice sandwich for lunch, and
I'm a huge barbecue fan, and we have 3 amazing
you're
barbecue
killing me,
just
by the way.
downtown.
You're killing me
I
here.
love barbecue. I'm a huge barbecue fan. We have more of your Memphis and Cajun style at Delta Blues. Eats is awesome. They've been around forever. Their sides are so traditional Southern. So if you want greens, and even when you're at Eats, they have like fried chicken that's incredible. Southern craft. There's so many barbecue, and we celebrate all the styles. So some of
Mhm,
those will offer you the Carolina sauce, or if you want the Memphis rub, or in our area, it's more of
mhm,
that sweet brown sugar is
mhm.
what is
Gotcha.
known for this area of, but, we have tons of those. Yeah, I'm going barbecue. I have
All right.
to. Yeah,
Okay.
so, yeah.
And the how about dinner?
Dinner. All right. So I'm so in trouble. So to all my restaurant friends in Bristol, I apologize. I'm going to stick to downtown. I'm going to go to Union 41. Chef
Mhm.
T. Chef T is she's amazing. You may have seen her on Hell's Kitchen. She was runner up on Hell's Kitchen.
Okay.
She's been so she's known, and she opened in the bus station, and her food is off the chain. I mean, it
Oh, wow.
is it's the TV quality, but what it celebrates is Appalachia food.
Okay.
So she'll bring in a lot of the Appalachia flair of the food and the products that we have here, and take it to the next level. So incredible steaks, and she'll do features like gumbo and stuff, and she's just world renowned. So we're lucky that she has chosen to live here,
Oh,
and,
boy.
it's you got to check out Union 41. Anytime you can get a cocktail that has a smoke bubble on it, I mean, that fancy stuff sells me. I know or it comes in a smoker, comes in a lockbox in a vault, for a bourbon. I mean, you caught me at the display.
There
So
you go. It's like high art food. I love that.
yeah,
Now, the last little gotcha here is after a nice dinner, you want to relax, get some music in, maybe have a couple more adult beverages before you
yeah,
head back home. You're with your friends, your family, but you're not going to let them go without
yeah,
going where.
yeah. All right. So if you okay, so we have 3 breweries and taste rooms downtown. So if beer's your thing, you can go to Michael Waltrip Brewing. Michael Waltrip is opened a brewery in Bristol, and
Yeah.
there's Cascade Draft House, there's Elder Brew.
Mhm.
There's great beer. We make great beer here. We're very proud. Since we make alcohol and beer, we're very proud of the spirits that come from this region.
Of
There's
course.
a really cool place. The Bristol Hotel has a rooftop bar. So does the Session Hotel. They both have rooftop bars. Lumac, and it's year round. So it's glass walls. So even if it's snowing outside, you're in those glass walls and you're overseeing downtown. It's next to the Birthplace Country Music Museum. That's a really cool venue. They do some live music and stuff. Um, if I want to take friends and say, "Hey, I want to show a little bit of Bristol," I'll take you there just so you get a little bit of
Okay.
uh, unique.
Okay. You are making it very hard to want to leave once I get there for a visit, and I thank you for that because
Yeah,
um, I'll leave it at that. But I'm excited, and I know we're gonna touch on a couple of those places when you host the Field Fest portion of the visit. So it's wonderful. Hey, before we head out today, Matt, if our listeners would like to learn more about you and your work, where are the best places for them to go?
if you're going online, explorebristol.com, just that easy. Explorebristol.com. All of our social, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Explore Bristol Now. It's real easy. It's all linked from our website as well. So we have a huge following. So we appreciate our fans and friends that do follow us. So we try to keep everything as updated as possible. We know how important that is. So I would start there. And if you have any questions, they can always message us. Through the website, emails, and all that stuff. We work with any visitor and direct them to help their experience. So
Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your Monday, the start of your day, to join us on the Outdoor Adventure Series, and to actually, I'm excited that you're a part of this event as well. I look forward
yeah.
to meeting you in July and really seeing the best that Bristol has to offer. So, thank you again.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate it. We'll see you this summer.
Sounds like a plan. Listen,
All
stay in the line. We're going to do a real quick close, and you and I can have a final chat. Okay.
right.
All right, folks, we've just been chatting with Matt Bolas, the executive director of Explore Bristol, this unique town that straddles Bristol, Tennessee, and Bristol, Virginia. We've learned a lot about the area, some of their top attractions, and really, I can tell my peers at the OWAA and for our listeners, it's Outdoor Writers Association of America. We're being hosted by Johnson City and their regional partners at our inaugural Field Fest event in July. So I'm very excited about that, as well as to be able to participate via this podcast with the partners. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I mean, lots of reasons to come visit this neck of the woods in Northeast Tennessee. You got a lot of great information. We're going to provide Matt's top 10 list and the gotcha list, as
Cool.
well as additional media. And we'll also have a backlinks to the Explore Bristol website and all of their social sites, such as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Now, as for us, you can find this episode on our website, outdooradventureseries.com. You can find us on our Outdoor Adventure Series pages on Facebook and LinkedIn, Instagram, and on YouTube. And of course, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcast from. And one thing we would like, wherever you get your episodes from, if there's an opportunity to like the episode, comment on it, or share it with friends, please go ahead and do so. This is a great way for us to grow our fan base, but it's also going to be a great opportunity for you to also share what Bristol has to offer. Okay, folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a phenomenal day. And listen, we look forward to seeing you on a future episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series. And before we head out, we want to thank our great folks at Visit Johnson City and their regional partners for collaborating on this podcast series. Take care now.